After a 49-win season, the Vegas Golden Knights are back in the playoffs for the third straight season to begin this series. The question is whether or not we can break this current spell we've been under of not being able to get out of the first round. Our challenge this time out in the first round being the Los Angeles Kings. We're going to find out whether or not we can break this streak and finally get over this hump that, to be honest, it's kind of frustrating that we've had this struggle to begin with, especially when you look at the team that we've had. We signed Artemi Panarin 2 seasons ago now. He's been a tremendous fit on this team. You look at what the second line became this season with Cody Glass stepping up, the free agent signing of Evgeny Dadonov, the out-of-nowhere presence made by Tate DWYER. You know, as a result, we get rid of guys like Thomas Tatar and Stastny. You look at what that fourth line's been, especially Ryan Carpenter, who I'll continue to point out. You look at the Roman Josi signing last offseason, the Dougie Hamilton acquisition, Jet Wu developing into what he's developed into. Everything's looking solid for our team, but we've said that before. We said that heading into last postseason, and then everybody on the team underperformed, especially one Marc-Andre Fleury. We know what kind of team we have. We have a team that year in and year out, you could say, all right, playoff team at the very least, and then once we get there, who knows? And that is the problem. Now that we're here, who the hell knows? Who's going to perform? Who's going to underperform? Who's going to just flat out not show up? Marc-Andre Fleury. We will find out. Everything that happened in the regular season, irrelevant at this point. It comes down to these potential 7 games against Los Angeles. Let's go ahead and take a look at their lineup, shall we? And it's still similar to what you would expect from them at this point. Top line of Ilya Kovalchuk, Anze Kopitar, and Tyler Toffoli. Second line, Tanner Pearson. Mikael Backlund there as well. I wonder when he ended up on the team. And Adrian Kempe. Third line of Trevor Lewis, Jeff Carter, and Dustin Brown. Alex Alfalo, Gabriel Velarde, and Vinny Hinostroza make up the fourth line. Just looking at the offense in general, obviously they got some players who are up there in age now. This is going to be one of the last chances for that core, I'd say, to win here. Kovalchuk, Carter, Brown, Lewis is getting to that age as well, where retirement might not be that far off. Of course, we've seen players retire at 36. We've seen players retire at 43. So who's to say exactly? But on the offensive side of things, they're looking pretty good. You can't deny that. It might not be mind-bogglingly good, but still very much capable. And on the defensive side of things is where we find our biggest advantage. Top pairing of Dion Phaneuf and Drew Doughty, which again, a lot of these overalls aren't going to be locked in. We'll get more familiar with them as we play them throughout the series. Second pairing of Kale Clague and Yannick Weber, which, okay, is like a meh third pairing at best. And then we get to the actual third pairing. Daniel Brickley with a 59 overall Kim Schroeder, who was a 4th-round pick of Toronto in 2020. He is in their lineup. And while he's obviously not a 59, that's not confirmed. He's not going to be like a 75 out of nowhere. That is a massive advantage for us. The goaltender is still Jonathan Quick with Alex Stalock as the backup. Jake Muzzin is the man who is hurt. How long he is out for remains to be seen. But even with him fully healthy, that defense isn't spectacular. I'd say, outside of the fact that they have Drew Doughty, and we have Roman Josi, we're looking okay in terms of the defensive matchup. I think we have the advantage one way or another. Muzzin will be back, if not for Game 1, more than likely for Game 2. Yeah, so if he doesn't play in this game, he'll be back by that second game. So SKRODER being in the lineup really isn't that big of a factor. It'll only help decide this first game. They might play Muzzin at less than 100%. There is no guarantee there. Regardless, we know the situation. We know the scenario. Let's get down to it. There is nothing left to do other than to get into the sim. So let's do it. First period of Game 1. Of course, we have home ice advantage. Can we make the most of it? It is oh so important for us to get off to a good start here with the struggles that we've had in the first round. So let's do it. First period is scoreless. 10 shots to 8 in their favor. Not the ideal start, but not terrible. Second period, that doesn't help. Tyler Toffoli gets the opening goal. 18 shots apiece. And we're down 1-0 just like that. We need a strong start here. Third period underway. We need a quick goal, and we get it. William Carey. It's the one thing that sucks, of course, with our team colors. You can't really tell just off of the logo alone, as Tyler Toffoli gets one back. 2-1 with 8 minutes to go. Can we find another goal? So far, only the fourth line has been able to contribute offensively. 2:06 remaining, and that'll do it. That'll do it. Carrier gave us a chance. In the end, we are sunk by Tyler Toffoli, Jonathan Quick and company. And that is not the way you want to start off a series when you've been struggling to make it out of the first round, when you flat out haven't made it out of the first round. Losing Game 1 on home ice, not great at all. I don't think I'll overreact and make a lineup change yet, but admittedly, I'm already fearing the worst, and in a way I'm already expecting the worst. So maybe it'll be that much better if we inevitably win, because then I'll actually be pleasantly surprised, even though I shouldn't be. We should win this series, but I have my doubts at this point. We'll go through Game 2. I didn't have to jump into the calendar, but it's fine. Let's do it. Game 2. Can we get back into this series? We've already lost a game. It's fine. We can overcome it. But we cannot afford to go down 2-0 against Los Angeles to start things off here. Let's see what happens. First period of Game 2 is scoreless. So a repeat of the last game. 11 shots apiece. Second period. And this is looking like a god-awful retrend here as Dustin Brown has the only goal of this game. 2 straight games to begin this series that the Kings have a 1-0 lead heading into the third period. Let's see what we can do. Our offense needs to show up. Cody Glass ties it. Okay, now for the love of God, get this next goal. Power play opportunity. And Tyler Toffoli. Oh my God, he's a nightmare. Power play for the Kings. Kopitar scores, and that's... Come on, man. Don't do this to me 3 years in a row. Toffoli gets another one. Oh my God. We tie it, and then we lose it. Devastating. Absolutely devastating. Oh, man. How do I react to that, though? You know? How do I react to that? We lose both games on home ice to begin this series. So that's great. We have 2 goals in 2 games. It's deja vu. That's what it is. We're seeing the same thing that's happened now in 3 straight... I mean, it happened the first 2 seasons. This is our 3rd straight season to make it the playoffs. And the team is just shutting down. I don't know what to do as far as these changes. Okay, you know what? Cody Glass down to the 3rd line with Holla and Tuck. Marchessault, 2nd line center. Let's go. What do we want to go with here? DWYER, Carlson, Panarin, Smith, Marchessault, Dadonov, Holla, Glass, and Tuck. Sure, why not? Defensively, Josi and Hamilton really haven't been factors yet. Second pairing's been a little bit brutal, so we'll break them up. We'll swap. Actually, you know what? We won't. Nope, shit, hold on. It'll be McNabb and Wu just getting a little bit better ice time because they've been okay thus far. And then goaltending-wise, like, I know you haven't had any offensive support, but I'm turning to Malcolm Subban more than likely in Game 3. I know he hasn't had any, a ton of offensive support, but Marc-Andre Fleury is turning into Pekka Rinne in terms of being fine in the regular season, and in the postseason, he just falls apart. And I don't understand it. We're turning to Malcolm Subban in Game 3. We have made lineup changes. I didn't have to jump into the calendar. Admittedly, I'm a little bit frazzled and scatterbrained because I can see the writing on the wall. We desperately need a win here. Desperately. The series shifts to Los Angeles, and we need a W. Malcolm Subban and the Vegas Golden Knights. Let's see what happens. First period of Game 3 is scoreless. I've seen this play before. 11 shots to 8 in our favor. Second period, Doughty and Backlund. 2-0. 24 shots to 15. Third period, this is it. If we fall down 3-0, it's over. We're dead in the water. Dead in the water. And it's not looking too good as it stands. 11 minutes to go. Power play. I'm finishing the game. Screw it. It's over. It's over. Panarin gets a goal back. We're done. We're done. We're done. I don't know what we do with this team. I don't know what direction we take with this team. I don't know what to do. Because every year we get to the playoffs and it's the same thing. We just disappear. We fall apart and we disappear. What do we do? I don't get it. I don't understand it. These two are great in the regular season, and then they just fall apart. Granted, he wasn't great last year, that being Subban, but you look at these numbers, Marc-Andre Fleury has 1 year left on his contract. Even if we flip him, you factor in who we have in the system. We're set up to compete right now. We are. I don't know what the hell to do. In the system-wise, we have Vladar and Dansk. Well, Dansk is going to go at the end of this year. Ingram we picked up for nothing. We don't have that ready-to-go goaltender in the system. We don't know what Fleury's trade value is going to be. Defensively, again, we're not looking terrible right now. We could certainly look to sell off a Roman Josi and a Brayden McNabb and look to take a step back. We have guys like Hagen Bronnstrom that are pushing for third pairing spots, but outside of those two, we have Norton, Eklund, Kane. We have some defensive prospects, but they're a few seasons away. And then forward-wise, it's do we sell off a Panarin? Dadnov's going to go anyway. Do we sell off? What do we do with this team? Whose team is this at this point? We are at the stage where a drastic overhaul of this team isn't exactly out of the question. It's not. Why not blow it up in a sense? Because no matter what we've done with this core, come playoff time, they shit the bed. Looking here at least at players who might give a damn. McNabb and Wu is going to be our top pairing because they're actually performing. And what else can we do? Carpenter, nothing. Fourth line's been pretty ineffective. 1 point for Carrier and Eakin. Nothing from Alex Tuck. 1 point from Cody Glass. Nothing from Holla. So let's go ahead and make that change right there. Dadnoff, 2 points. Marchessault, nothing. Riley Smith, nothing. All right, let's drop you two down. Panarin, 1 point. Nothing from William Karlsson. Nothing from Tate Dwyer. So Dadnoff had 2 points. Nothing from Marchessault. It's disgusting how bad this team has underperformed. So right now, the only player in that top six that doesn't have a point is Dwyer. Is there anybody who actually deserves an opportunity over him? At least Riley Smith and Eric Holla aren't minuses, but just goddamn. You know what? No, I'm going to give Tate Dwyer the chance here because you know what? He might actually be a part of the future of this team, whereas with everyone else, I can't say for certainty or with certainty whether or not they will be involved. Carrier can play center, can he not? He can't. So it's going to have to be Glass and Eakin. So we'll go with this setup here. Let's go Dwyer, Glass, Panarin, Carrier, Eakin, Dadnoff. We'll go with Smith, Carlson, Marchessault. Let's go Tuck, Hall, Carpenter. What's the worst that could happen? We're down 3-0 in this series. What is the worst that could happen? Marc-Andre Fleury's back between the pipes for this next game. Sooner it's over the better. Didn't mean to hit play. That's a fine case of menu lag. I'm so frustrated by this team right now. So frustrated by this team. And we have a big decision. Jesus Christ. Yeah, come on. Jesus, I already hit thank you. Like, my God. We have a big decision to make as far as the future of this team. Because there's a lot of different ways we could go. First period of Game 4, as Sorensen gets the opening goal for them. 11. We put up 4 shots in the first period. Just put us out of our misery. Put me out of my misery. Second period, Pearson makes it 2. Third, I'm just going to hit the button. Third period, and the Vegas Golden Knights get swept out of the playoffs by the fucking LA Kings. Just disgusting. Disgusting. No fight, nothing. Jonathan Quick just bends us over and fucking spanks us and just, hey, thanks for coming, guys. We'll see you later. Look, it's like, hey, you want to come up to the big boys table? It's like, Jesus Christ. I got hustled. I walked into the bar. I wanted to play some pool, and some guy's like, I'm not that good. I'm Jonathan Quick. I'm kind of old. I'm getting up there. I'm past my prime. And then he just fucking curb stomps us out of the first round. The most embarrassing loss yet, as we are swept by old man Quick and the Los Angeles Kings. Again, there's so many different avenues that we could go down here as far as who stays, who goes, what we look to do. Because when you look at our team, there wasn't necessarily a defined weakness. We have a team where if we ran into that team in the Stanley Cup Final, if we were an Eastern team and we ran into that version of the Vegas Golden Knights, we'd say to ourselves, they can win this. I can see why they're here. And instead, we just get embarrassed. And you got to look at some of the guys here. A couple of high top 6s in the draft, by the way. Interesting. Very interesting. And who do we have in terms of gems and busts? I do wonder. 3 gems. Ralph Kolzig, Yannick Koppainen, and Bryant Fraser, who we know nothing about at the moment. So here's the game plan. We're going to sim to the end of the year. We're going to take a look at the stats, the awards, and everything. Find out the lottery results. And then from there, we're going to call it an episode. We're going to take a look at all of our options as the Flyers organization completes the double. They win both. We're going to take a look at hopefully some trade values and figure out what the hell we want to do here. As Philly ended up beating St. Louis in 7. Philly won the last 2 in 7. They went through Pittsburgh to win that too. Let's take a look at what a cup-winning team looks like, shall we? Look at that. Oh my God, that's so frustrating. This Flyers roster: Voracek, Couturier, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. I see him on cup-winning teams all the time. Devontae Smith-Pelly. Dylan Sikora ended up on the team. Travis Konechny didn't do a whole hell of a lot for them. So the big addition would be RNH. Defensively, no big additions. Simone Dupre. That's about it. Tyler Myers as well, who I didn't notice. And then Brian Elliott Brian Elliott just won a cup. Marc-Andre Fleury can't stop a puck, but Brian Elliott wins a goddamn Stanley Cup with Philly. Year 1, it's Tampa. Year 2, it's Boston. Year 3, it's Philadelphia. The Eastern dominance is very much on point. Toronto won won consecutive President's trophies. It did not win. McKinnon wins the Art Ross. The Hart goes to Crosby. The Norris to Aaron Ekblad. Lady Bing to Kessel. Calder goes to Yamamoto, which is unfortunate. Conn Smythe to Brian Elliott. The Vezina to Henrik Lundqvist, as well as the Jennings. TVR wins to Masterton. Selke goes to John Tavares. Crosby wins to Ted Lindsay. And Alex Ovechkin wins the Rocket Richard. Down in the AHL, Oscar Lindblom put up the most points and was league MVP. Jamie McGinn put up the most goals. A guy named Boyce was Rookie of the Year. Best defenseman was Ty. Wow, Ty Berry was down in the AHL. That's strange and bizarre. Markstrom was the best goaltender. Kari Lehtinen was the MVP of the playoffs. And a couple of other awards handed out there. That is that. That is that. I suppose the progress reports would be the final major thing to look at to recap another season of tremendous disappointment. I can't believe we just got swept. DWYER, again, phenomenal improvement. Brannstrom, phenomenal improvement. Glass, Suzuki, these guys will, of course, be a part of the roster next year. You look at Gregory Roach. He's going to be fighting for a spot next year, and we'll probably have one. Good improvement for Fedorov, Norton, Allen. Really good improvement for a lot of our prospects, which is definitely what we needed. But heading into this draft where we have the possibility, the option to just blow this up and to take a step back and maybe secure a core of players that can actually show up in the postseason. Maybe, just maybe, we can find those unicorns that we apparently haven't been able to. As Detroit ends up with the number 1 overall pick, Minnesota ends up in the top 3 thanks to a trade with Nashville. So there you go. The lottery results. Draft class is irrelevant right now because we can't say for sure, like, oh, this is who we're targeting, because we don't know what the full situation's going to be. As Marian Gaborik retires, a little bit shy of 1,000 career points. Paul Stastny ended up retiring, so that was a phenomenal trade for us to get Dougie Hamilton. Stastny ends up retiring. Even then, Dougie Hamilton didn't help us out that much now, did he? But at least we have an asset that we can move now, as opposed to Stastny outright retiring. So that was definitely the right call. It was definitely the right call. The trade block is going to be an interesting one. But this is what I want to look at. I want to look at these values. So draft pick-wise, we have our first. I don't know what the fuck. Why is that out of order? That's okay. That's super weird. So in 2021, we have our first, our second, no third, but 2 fourths, 4 fifth-round picks, 2 sixths, and a 7th. Goaltending-wise, you look at the slight value that Fleury has left. I doubt we'd be able to trade him unless we retain half salary. From there, I don't know. I just don't know. What do you guys think? I want to know. Let me know down in the comments. I want your opinion. I don't want to put up some poll that I could do. No, I want to know from you in the comments. Let me know, what do we do? Do we just go for it again next year? Do we blow this up? Do we get rid of, a specific set of players? How far do we go with this? If you ask me, maybe blowing it up isn't the worst way to go. Maybe it isn't. We see what we can get for the majority of our players, and we just take a massive step back next year. Might not be the worst way to go. I hate to end this episode on such a down note, but that's honestly where we are with this franchise right now. We got our teeth kicked in yet again, and we have a lot of questions to answer heading into the 2021 entry draft. So again, I thank you guys for watching. As always, you know the deal. Support the video, support the channel. Check out everything in the description. I thank you for the support. I love you all. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one, where one way or another, it will be a big episode, and will really go a long way in deciding just how things play out for the rest of this series.